Decided to make a video today about a book I've been reading titled Beyond Backpacking by Jardine. Obviously, this is a classic. Ultimately, it's what originated the story of ultralight hiking, uh, building your own frameless backpack, tarp for shelters, umbrellas. Uh, Essentially, this book really has changed the way that modern hikers approach the trail. And so, just wanted to share essentially 7 things that I found profound, kind of things that I hadn't really heard of on YouTube or pretty much anywhere at large, and I wanted to share those with you. So, Beyond Backpacking book is less about gear and how to, what to do in certain situations. It's more of kind of a philosophy, ultimately kind of a systems approach to tackling some of the problems that we have while through hiking. The number one thing that I found interesting was that Ray recommends using your heart rate as a governor. In other words, using your heart rate to better understand how you are doing on the trail. Essentially, Ray argues that most hikers actually overexert themselves on the trail. Essentially, they spike their effort on climbs, they chase miles, or they're trying to match someone else's pace, and ultimately that can lead to essentially not being optimized and could lead to injury, which is ultimately what I'm trying to prevent. Essentially, his solution is simple. He recommends to stay aerobic versus anaerobic. So, we're this is the tortoise versus the hare versus the tortoise. We want to continue at a slow pace, monitoring our heart rate. Another thing that Ray recommends is that if you cannot breathe cleanly through your nose, you might be overexerting yourself. Another thing I like to point out is, Ray essentially was ahead of his time, and I understand that this type of endurance science is now called Zone 2 training, and basically, we're focused on efficient fat burning, sustainable effort. And ultimately, on long trails, it's about sustainability, it's about not getting injured, it's about carving out miles each and every day, spending most of the day casually hiking and walking. And the important thing to note is we're really not hiking or pushing ourselves based on our ego. That's something that I'm working on myself. Number 2 is pre-trail conditioning. Ultimately, he says not to necessarily get into shape, but instead it's a progressive adaptation. It's something that you work towards little by little. Ultimately, you're going to slowly increase your pack weight, gradually try to increase your mileage, allowing your tendons, ligaments, and joints to strengthen over time. So we're slowly building those muscles. And ultimately, with this training, your cardiovascular fitness does indeed improve relatively quickly. But something to consider is that your connective tissue does not. And so injury prevention is absolutely key. Ultimately, his training philosophy is grounded in patience. It's working every day, little by little, to prepare yourself for the trail. Number 3 is foot care as a preventative discipline. One thing that I found really interesting was that, and this is something I hadn't heard of before, is that Ray recommends pre-treating yourself for athlete's foot pretty much when you start your training regime. Ultimately, you're not reacting to problems, you're working towards preventing them. He emphasizes dry feet, nail maintenance, and early hotspot management. Um, Ultimately, this is going to take daily attention, and it's really works best when one is in tune with themselves and really listens to their body. It sounds like pretty basic, but ultimately, chronic moisture, fungal issues, neglected blisters have the propensity to end more hikes than any other dramatic accident. So that's something I'm going to be very keyed into. Basically, daily maintenance beats the heroic miles. Number four is ultralight as a strategic margin. Basically, here is that ultralight is not about suffering with less. It's a philosophy. It's ultimately creating a margin. When your base weight is lower, that affords you the opportunity to carry other items that you might not. In other words, you could carry extra water across the desert if you're in tune with your pack weight. You can pack more food because of a long carry. You can also add insulation to prevent certain weather scenarios, and even you can carry a small luxury item. In my case, that's my 20,000 milliamp anchor battery that I'll be bringing. So ultimately, the philosophy is not necessarily minimalism. It's all about risk management through load adjustment. Ultimately, it's all about risk management. Through load reduction of your pack weight. Number 5, water judgment and terrain literacy. One of the most controversial topics in this book that I found was about water filtration. Ultimately, he encourages hikers to evaluate water sources, basically reading a map, looking upstream to the water source, evaluating grazing. Ultimately, you want to look upstream and evaluate the quality of water. There's a lot of agricultural and farm waste that ends up in these water sources, so being able to read a map and predict the drainage basin is key. And ultimately, in some cases, he's recommended finding clean water sources and feels that he's had a more enjoyable hiking experience when he has not filtered every drop of water. Basically, being in tune with the hydrogeology of the trail, and ultimately selecting water sources that have the highest possibility of being clean, and then filtering in the areas that are absolutely necessary. Like I said, this is kind of controversial, as really it's not, wouldn't be a bad idea to filter every drop of water you drink. Currently in South America, and every time I come, I end up getting sick from brushing my teeth, drinking the water from juices, ice. So it's something that should be taken very seriously, as being bedridden because of a waterborne illness is not fun, especially when you're trying to hike big miles. Number 6 is daily motion, economy of motion. Basically, Ray discusses walking strides. Essentially, Ray describes short strides, minimal vertical oscillation, and ultimately he describes short strides and relaxed upper body. These small efficiencies can reduce cumulative fatigue. Once again, this is about economy of your energy and motion, and so this also relates to every other facet through hiking, such as pitching a tarp, filtering water, essentially having simplified gear in your bag such that you're not wasting time and you're focusing on efficiency. You stop at a water source, maybe you eat a granola bar, you filter your water, you also put your feet up and rest. You're checking far out comments to see the next water sources, coming up with a game plan for your camp tonight, and ultimately trying to accomplish all of this on a break is key. Essentially, less friction means more efficient energy. And finally, we're here at number 7, and this is the psychological discipline. In other words, this is the stoicism in the book. Essentially, accept mild discomfort. You're going to be hiking long miles, long days. Of course, your body's gonna feel it. So embrace the suck, so they say. Another thing is to not dramatize weather. I've had some experience on the Arizona Trail where our esteemed colleagues would fearmonger and read the news, check the weather, and end up spending several nights in a hotel to wait out a storm. Hambone and I went through that said storm, and we had an absolute blast. Another thing is to avoid an emotional response to things you cannot control. It's best to understand that you must be flexible, you must float with the wind. Any challenges that come your way, embrace them. It's not going to be the end of the world. It's not anything that's going to take you off trail. Just helmet down and get through it. So understand that these are all temporary hardships. It's things that you can get through. Understand that efficiency is as much mental as it can be physical. So in closing, for hikers embracing a through hike, I would highly recommend picking up this book. While this book is old and perhaps slightly outdated, many of the philosophies still remain. So this is a key resource. This is not a nostalgia thing. This is a key resource. Ultimately, the value of these lessons are in one's own discipline. You must control your effort. Review your heart rate. You must control your effort. Prepare pre-trail conditioning gradually. Don't try to run a marathon and think you'll be ready. Also, be in tune with your body. Aim to prevent problems early. Ultimately, reducing your pack weight allows for a lot of flexibility for adding items that will give you comfort. And at the end of the day, this is about finding the least amount of items. At the end of the day, this is about finding the least amount of items that will provide comfort for you. And finally, study the landscape. Be confident with a map, being able to read far out contour lines, eliciting information about where the farms are. If you're close to the source, essentially a spring, then you might not need to filter your water. So at the end of the day, there's been a lot of innovation in gear, but the philosophy, the skills that you obtain while through hiking are essentially more important than any single piece of gear. With that, I appreciate you guys watching. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. It would help tremendously to get your support and stimulate the algorithm. If you guys like these videos, let me know. Please comment. If you have anything you would like me to produce, please let me know. With that, this has been my review of Ray Jardine's Beyond Backpacking. and I highlighted seven topics that I found to be interesting and not readily discussed on YouTube or in modern backpacking communities. Thank you for watching.